What's cooking, folks? Vermillion Phoenix here, and today we're jumping into some more Orcs Must Die Unchained. This time we're going to take on the castle gates with Yi-Lin. I did manage to clear this map once. I was invited to play with someone, and we went through a couple of enemies leaked through, so we wound up with the 3 stars. It also took us a little bit long because of the way that we set up the pathing, but we are going to be going into this with my Wuxing deck. And going to look something like this. We're using the quartermaster because we'll be blocking off this area down here. The extra damage will also make sure that most of the heavier enemies die. We'll need to basically trap this room up to high heaven to ensure that not too much is actually getting through, and you have quite a bit of space to do that in. We're going to be using the BGH arrow wall to take out the majority of the bosses for us, a lot of pounders, floor spikes, and a floor scorcher just for coverage. Because even with a big fire resistance bonus to the Wuxing soldiers, they still can get burnt to a crisp. The more of them you hit, the better that trap becomes. I'm going to swap out Feeling Fierce for Bear Hugs because we're using a melee character, and drop Enjoys Pain for wall building PhD just because there are some fire elementals that will wind up attacking this center barricade, which allows everything basically easy access to your rift. You want to make sure that that doesn't get destroyed. However, in the event that you do miss it, you should be able to replace it and clear out the firelings and fire elementals pretty easily. Just be careful not to die if you decide to go through this with a hero that has relatively low HP. But that should be it, and we should be good to go from here, so let's fire it up.
My loyalty to Chang'e brings me here.
Alright, so we're going to take Healing Moon since we took Overachiever, and it is just a really solid choice. This gate, for whatever reason, is not a seam, so you can place that directly under it. And you have a couple of options here. Either you can set up grinders here, or because this is much cheaper,
traps are a great technological advancement.
You just trap up.
Traps are a great technological advancement. This spot
this whole
is
area
the most harmonious.
Going up here.
Traps
They
are
did
a great
increase
technological advancement.
the range on those, so you do something like that, and we pretty much should be good.
State Sentinel is here.
I'm gonna hop down here and place our quartermaster now, so that we make sure that we don't place any other guardians and wind up eating coin. That last location, that's your last line of defense there. That's really what you want to do. These guys are going to take a moment to come out. There's like a little path that they have to climb up. That's a big gate.
They've broken through a gate!
My energy is unacceptably.
Alright. Now, they are going to send a good variety of elementals at you. Just be ready for it. And of course, because I didn't block off this side, a couple of them break loose and try to come through here. So we fix that now, and we never have to worry about those stairs again. All right.
The fundamentals of
Place a grinder there.
Easy to grasp.
Just want to make sure he gets burnt a little. Oh, looks like I failed. Alright, taking the element of surprise early. Alright, there we go. These guys are basically taken care of. Our bottom gate opens now.
I am grace. I am.
And then we basically want to do that. We're going to drop a couple of these.
I consider every trap.
And that there.
They've broken through a gate.
This spot is the most harmonious. I believe that trap must be.
And then make sure that all of our pounders are sort of set up there. I don't really care if he gets too far. These guys are really what we're worried about. And luckily for us, mercenaries aren't too big a deal as long as they don't have company. Oh gosh. So this happens sometimes, and it's still a bug with the priest. His buff will last for a particularly long time on enemies after he's dead. Now that scream that we heard was basically a bunch of firelings that are going to be going into the center. Now if you do not have tier 7 barricades with double struts on them, your barricade is going to be lost right there. So in that case, you would actually just want to have dropped these after you take out the after you take out the mercenaries, and then you can basically just run up there and take care of it, because Guardian and a few spike traps should take this out. But I didn't properly outfit this before I set it up.
Traps are a great technological advancement.
This is basically what you want to have it looking like. What was this?
A wise choice.
Now, this area is actually not hard to deal with, because these guys, with it set up this way, have to go all the way back. Well, I'll have to sell that. They have to go all the way down to the bottom of the map. You can also block this area off relatively easily and not have much to worry about.
This placement fits my strategy.
They've broken through a gate.
Also slows the fire. Do very well against a large group of enemies. Alright, now we get the chance to sell that.
When I was a girl, we didn't have traps. We just had weapons, and we were glad for them.
The boss minion has entered the battlefield.
Alright. So now we get a Lysander. And Lysanders, as we all know, are pretty annoying.
Consider every trap carefully.
The star that we see at the top there is the mercenary. It is not the boss.
The enemy's boss is dead.
So we're just gonna head after him now, so that they hopefully don't cause too many issues later. I have no idea how he just died, but they did. I don't recall dealing a ton of damage to him. Alright, and now try to go ahead and finish off trapping this area up.
Fits my strategy.
Alright, and there we pretty much go.
Oh, I saw that.
So, the one thing you're going to have to worry about after the firelings is there's going to be a large elemental wave here. Whoa. And then after this elemental wave, what you'll have is a Gaiden.
But my heart is rage and fire.
And the Gaiden comes from basically the place where I have all of my traps at the bottom of the map. You will want to make sure that they're okay. Now, even if you do have the double struts and a fully leveled barricade here, if you let any of these guys get destroyed and run into your barricade, if you didn't block the last wave, they will destroy it. So you got 2 on the last wave, this would have been the 3rd. And of course, 3 hits to your barricade from anything that saps it, and they are going to wreck it. Alright, so you get the Gaiden coming from the bottom. Whoa. So there we go. With the Earthlings out of the way, you can pretty much just bring yourself back here and go fight Gaiden. Or I'm sorry, Urza.
The enemy's boss is down. Our barricades, they've destroyed our
There's another way for your barricades to get wrecked. Just try not to leave yourself anywhere near those explosions. They are not your friend. And we can just replace that.
Fear me! I am once again the Jade Sentinel.
You made your bed, right? Polished your shoes?
Alright, and now we're pretty much left with free reign, so...
This spot is the most harmonious. This spot is the most harmonious. I consider every trap carefully.
Alright, as long as you can take them out, you really want to babysit the bottom and not worry about the center area too much. Because this is the area where enemies will be able to leak into your... Ooh. That's the area where enemies will actually leak into your rift from. Won't be anywhere else. Any regular enemies that manage to make it into those traps are pretty much toast.
After much meditation, this placement fits my strategy.
And for the rest of this, you can pretty much just spam spikes.
The boss minion has entered the battlefield.
I am transformed.
Alright, so we got a Swifty, and there we go.
The boss minion is down.
But ultimately fruitless.
Did he just get like whacked with a spike at the same time that... Oh no. Oh. That was close. Not again. Oh man. Got to love Earth Elementals.
Blimey, some of you lot driving me to drink.
Traps are a great technological advantage.
Limited area that you have to take out enemies from there, and the fact that the majority of them are Earth Elementals kind of makes that tough. If you do it towards the other way, you don't have to deal with the Earth Elementals and you can use a Jailer Guardian instead. If you have Jailer Guardians and you don't have a Quartermaster or the Headhunter, that may actually be the best choice. However, you will need to run up here to take out any oversized enemies like the Giants or the Grizzlies, and that's because they'll just take forever to actually get anywhere. Like you see, by the time this area is cleared, these guys are just showing up. Right, anything that's over there should be a water dragon. Yep. Okay. So now we have the last wave coming up, and we still got about 3 minutes. And if you want more coverage and you don't want to deal with these weird grinders, you can pick arrow walls instead. Arrow walls will reach, you'll actually be able to place them in a few more spots comfortably. Oh, jeez. Yeah. just gonna kill you, dude.
For the Cloud Tiger Empire!
You will pay for this!
Really hate the chaotic kobold. There we go. That's another reason you want to babysit the bottom now, just because the wrong guardian, especially a dwarf priest, can basically make anything be able to tank this area. I mean, the dwarf priest can make anybody tank just about anything, but pay special attention to whichever area you make closest to the rift, just because if you happen to get a priest there, they can run through all of your traps. Now, there's a couple of other ways you can actually do that. You can force everything through the center and have them both loop around to fight the guardians, which I may show off. Oh, I got a key. No map in combat, ice armor, and expensive hunter traps. Interesting. Hunter traps isn't really that big of a deal just because the arrow wall and the zapper aren't particularly expensive. Even at triple cost, the zapper is only 1500. And it still does a really good job. Of course, the arrow walls are pretty much the best thing for the price. But yeah, I'll probably see if I can use a different solution with Yi-Lin, or sorry, not Yi-Lin, but Brass, just because obviously that required a lot of mobility to like fix holds. And I apologize, I'm recording this at like 3 in the morning, but it would allow you to do it without having to focus so much on running to the north and south of the map. And so I'll set that up when I get into this next time. But either way, you can manage to 5-star it if you do route everything into a single lane, and then just pay attention to, of course, your fire elementals, and then the huge volume of earth elementals that you're going to get at the bottom gate near the barracks. So yeah, that's gonna be it for that. We'll get Brass tomorrow, and hopefully you guys enjoy this until then. Thanks as always for tuning in. I sincerely appreciate it, and until next time, as always, have a good one, folks.